It evokes my time at the university residences in Aberdeen, lying in the dark, basking in exalted freedom from the unbending fear that coalesced in my chest, like the thick phlegm did in his. Because whatever I hear outside, cars scrunching down the narrow council house streets, sometimes sweeping their headlights across this fusty old room, drunks challenging or serenading the world, or the rending shrieks of cats taking their torturous pleasures, I know that I won't hear that noise. No coughing, no screaming, no thumping sound. Doof, doof, doof. None of the urgent raised whispers, which, by their panic levels, enable you to meter just how sleepless your night will be. And just a dozy, relatively silent darkness in this city. No fucking coughing. Because it always starts with a cough, just one. Then, as you will him to settle down, your quickening pulse discloses the grim revelation that you've subconsciously been waiting on it. You've been waiting for that cough as keenly as a rapacious beast in hiding marks time on its advancing prey. Then the second one, truly the worst moment, when the cloak of dread conclusively settles, your limbs start to burn, your head races. That's the point of which your anger shifts from the source of the cough to those who would assist him. Just fucking leave it, you cunts! But of course, you hear the disturbance from behind the diaphanous walls, a weary sigh, the sharp click of the light switch, the skittish footsteps. Then the voices, coughing, cooing and pleading before the grim procedure starts, the postural drainage. Doof, 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 doof. That dread rhythm of my father's big hands pounding on his thin, crooked back, insistent, even violent. Such a different sound and beat to my ma's timorous taps. Their hushed and exasperated encouragement as you try to telepathically attenuate his ragged, desperate pulls to your own tightening inhalations. I wish they would leave him in the hospital. Just keep him the fuck away. I'm never going back to that house until he's gone forever. It's so wonderful that from this haven you can forget all that and just let your mind and body dissolve into sleep. Come on, son! Up! Move it! Awakening sore and stiff to the gravelly voice of my father, he's standing over me, his thick brow furrowed, naked from the waist up, his chest a forest of blondie grey fur, as he brandishes a white toothbrush. It takes me 3 full seconds, each measured in an eye blink, to remember that I'm on my grandmother's couch in Cardonald. I only got to sleep a few hours ago, and it would still be pitch black except a small table lamp he's clicked on oozes a fatigued aquamarine glow across the room. But he's right, we have to go, we have to make the bus at St Enoch Square. I know that once I get going I'll be fine, even though I'm a little untidy. Fucking doing it again! I ken that once I get moving I'll be fine, even though I'm a bit scruff order, and I asked to borrow Grand's iron, just to get the worst creases out of the navy Fred Perry, before I pull it over my thin, white, goose-bumped body. Dad's having none of it, but forget it, he says. Waving his toothbrush, marching to the bathroom across the hall, sadistically clicking on the overhead light as he goes, the flare burning my retina and searing my brain. It's not a fashion show, come on! I didn't need that much encouragement. The adrenaline is leaking into me, buzzing us up. There's no way I'm missing this one. Granny Renton's up to see us off, small, white-headed in her quilted dressing gown, but robust and ever alert, peering at us over her glasses, duffel bag in her hand. Looking at her, you'd fucking well think that Tweety Pie should be sitting in a cage in the corner. She gasps at us for a second, then makes some kind of gesture, and then she's off fussing after my dad in the hallway. I can hear her soft sing-song voice. What time's the bus go? What time? Where's it leave for? What time will you get there? Go back to your bed, mother. My dad garbles in between mouthfuls of toothpaste and spit as I take in the opportunity to pull on my clothes, my shirt, my jeans, my socks, my trainers, my jacket. I'm looking at the framed pictures of Grandad Renton on the mantelpiece. Grand's taken out the 4 medals he got in the war, including the VC, which I think was from Normandy. He wouldn't have liked him being on display like that. He kept him in an old baccy tin, and he always had to be cajoled into showing us them. Fair play to him. He told us right from the start, me and my brother Billy, that it was all fucking bullshit. That some brave men got no medals for their heroics, while wankers could get decorated for nothing. I recall one time when we were on holiday in the guest house down in Blackpool, I was pressing him. But you were brave, eh, Grandad? Charging up that beach, you must have been brave. I was scared, son, he told me, his face bloodless and sombre. But most of all, I was angry at being there, really angry. I wanted to take it out on somebody and then go home. But that man had to be stopped, oh father, my dad had implored. You said so yourself. I know that. I was just angry that he was allowed to get started in the first place. The 2 pictures of Grandad Renton offer subtle contrast. In one, he's a cocky young gadge in a uniform that lends him a certain gravitas. He's about to swagger off on an adventure with his mates. The other, which is older, shows him with a deep smile, but different to the other presumptuous grin. It's not exactly false, but it looks posed and hard won. My gran returns, catching me at the pictures. Perhaps she sees something in me, in profile, a hint of the past, because she sidles up to me, puts her arm round my waist and whispers, "You bastard's hell, son." Gran smells fragrant but old, like she uses a soap that nobody washes with anymore. As my dad comes through, we prepare to leave, and she adds, "But watch yourself and look after my laddie," meaning him. It's weird that she still thinks of him that way, with him being ancient, not far off of 50. "Come on, pal, the cab's here," he says, maybe a bit abashed at her fussing as he looks through the curtains outside to the street before turning and kissing my gran on her forehead. Then she grabs my hand in a surprisingly lusty old claw. "You're the best of them, son," she whispers in urgent confidence, her brown eyes madly rimmed with high cholesterol sky blue like a cross-section gobstopper. She says this every time I've seen her since I was a bairn. And it used to make me feel great until I realised that she said that to all her grandchildren and the neighbours' kids. I'm sure she means it at the time though. The best of them all. She releases the grip and hands Dad the duffel bag. "Didn't you be losing that thermos flask in that bag, David Renton?" she ticks. "I'll tell you, I'm going to keep an eye on it," he says sheepishly, like he's become a surly teenager again. He starts to go, but she stops him. "You're forgetting something," she says, and goes to the sideboard and produces 3 small glasses, which she proceeds to fill with whiskey. My dad rolls his eyes. "Ma!" She isn't hearing him. She raises a glass, compelling us to requite the gesture, although I hate whiskey, and it's the last thing I want this early in the morning. Here's to us, boys like us, damn few and they're all deed, she croaks. Features pinching and witch-like recalcitrance. Dad knocks his one back in a wunner. Gran's is already gone by a kind of osmosis. I didn't even see her put the glass to her lips. It takes me 2 retching gulps to get the rancid crap down. Come on, son, you're a rentin', she shouts. Then Dad nods to me, and we're off. She's an awful woman, he says with irksome affection as we climb into the big black taxi, my stomach burning. I wave at her small figure, standing in the doorway in the murky street, willing the daft old bat to get back inside into the warm. Glasgow. That was how we learnt to spell it at primary school. Granny likes a small glass of whiskey. Thanks for listening, folks.